Alright, everybody. Alright, everybody. We're on the next round. The next bracket. It's FtWin versus Hanran. And whoever wins this will go to the grand finals.
Well, as advertised, their longest range weapon is a Kensa 52 Gal. That's a weapon that doesn't see a lot of love, period. But it's when that's the
So the player's name is Jared. And
you are showing your hand very, very quickly, saying, "We're coming to you. Do something about it."
Swimming around in order to not get splatted by the other team. Oh my gosh. Oh! Jared got splatted. They have the Rainmaker.
They grab the Rainmaker to make an initial push, and actually they're getting into the sweet spot that we've talked about before, backed up by a Booyah Bomb.
Yeah, unfortunately, are we calling, what is this, the poop check?
Oh!
Yeah, there. So you can see the aggressiveness really came in handy. They were able to take out Kyo with that inkjet, but unfortunately, all Rainmakers, except for the one in the previous match, all Rainmakers generally go a little back and forth.
They had way too much Rainmakers.
Right now, have that heat armor ready to deploy, just trying to cover a little bit of turf in the middle. Trying to avoid an inkjet coming out here in 9. If you are Hanran, what is the play here now that you have the early lead with the Rainmaker resetting?
Well, I think you saw exactly what they wanted to do, right? They went back to mid. They knew that the Rainmaker was going to reset on his own, so they figured as long as they had control, it would be okay that the Rainmaker reset. Now that you see they took one out, Rain is willing to move up, take this space, but needs to be careful. They're already one down.
3:30 left.
Nice one.
Two huge splats right there by Braun, and now it's 4-2.
Nice one, Braun.
And just like that, you have a chance if you're Hanran to make a push here, Ashley.
That was a really good example of winning a 2v.
Watch out!
I mean, he killed a special. So that's like, I mean, that's the best you can hope for in that situation. Really, really great work by Braun.
Look out, look out.
With those shorter range shooters here, 9, applying the pressure itself to build an early lead, and they're doing a good job of holding forward against a team that is very balanced and very experienced with more range.
It is, and that's what this is meant to do, right? It means that you can dictate the flow of the match. You see that Jared is
Get him!
in the same way that Brand did earlier. This time, however, Biscuit picked that up. You saw he had rotated earlier over instead of waiting for them to come to him. Now they're moved up a little bit, and now we're going to see if that shorter range starts to hurt them.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to get splatted, and that's just enough for the defensive efforts of Hanran to even things up. They still have the lead, 41-0, but still plenty of time. Here comes the first Rainmaker grab and some Tenta missiles to help escort the ball carrier here, Ashley.
Yeah, I mean, the Tenta missiles can come in really handy in Rainmaker. It's a really great way to block out an opponent, kind of keep them from your carrier. But unfortunately, it doesn't look like it did too much.
And FtWin has seized control of this game. They take the lead, 34-41, still very close, plenty of time left, but we see so much mid-control here at 9, and that's what you want if you're going to play a defensive game at this point.
It really is. And isn't that so frustrating? It seems like Hanran's been doing exactly what they needed to do for 3
Blast
minutes.
them all.
One push is all it takes. But credit FtWin again, being patient, knowing when the opportunity was theirs. And that's one of the highest flying inkjets I think I've ever seen.
Trying to avoid the inkjet from the heavens. Gets the splat on Sufjan, trying to get 2 here. You see a couple of members of Hanran off to the left, trying to fill up that Rainmaker and get that shield to burst. 120 left over.
Watch out!
The clock starts to become a factor. Oh, but Apple going to go ahead and get smashed by Biscuit. And now it's more mid-control, though, here, 9 for Hanran, as you see a lot more purple on the map.
It is, and Jared in an inkjet means
We have a Rainmaker.
He's trying to pick out, he thinks that someone might be hiding. So he's going to try to take that out and make sure there's no resistance whatsoever. Just a little bit further, that's a huge pick, but I think that was Shaq over there who got that pick.
Yeah, Jared getting the splat on Biscuit, but Shaq able to provide enough of a defensive effort. Jared trying to find the first point for FtWin on the backside. Another splat. Jared doing work in the opposition's house at this point. Ink armor comes up, though, for FtWin. That'll help bolster their defenses. But, Ashley, it seems like FtWin doing just enough here late in the game to hold this last push from Hanran.
Yeah, Jared was doing a really good job there of trying to keep out a couple of players while his teammates respawned, but he couldn't hold out long enough.
Rainmaker resets, and clearly at this
Oh, dang. Got splatted.
Because they're down 7, and that plays right into the hands of what FtWin wants to do with more range.
It is, but look at this break.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done.
That's going to be it.
Not enough right there. They had
Oh.
everything laid out for them.
Looks like the blue team won.
But
Oh! Oh, so the yellow team won.
That's what we talked about.
Looked like they had a lot of ink there for the blue team.
Sit back and focus on being defensive. That's one less thing you have to think about as a team.
Yeah, I mean, defense. What is that old sports phrase? Jordan defense wins championships,
Wins
right?
championships.
That's what it's all about.
Sports there.
Yeah, that's from hockey, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Works in every facet of it. But the first game going to FtWin, and you know you have to credit Hanran here, 9, because they had no range whatsoever on FtWin, but that aggression seemed to pay off, and really Jared getting a couple of key picks late in the game to apply the pressure against FtWin. That's not a bad showing for Hanran considering the pedigree of FtWin.
It's not a bad showing at all. And actually, in the middle of that game, you saw the adaptation that makes FtWin so strong. Early on, when Brand went on that absolute tear, he took out Biscuit at the start. The next 2 times you saw somebody push that side, Biscuit was ready. Biscuit said, okay, are we really going to do the same dance over and over? And that's why you saw Biscuit at the top there with 16 flats and assists.
And then actually we saw the shift from defense to offense, back to defense coming from FtWin, especially when we saw Biscuit push forward with that Nautilus. And good teams do that. When they are coordinated, they're all moving together as a unit. You don't have that lone squid that likes to jump ahead and try and be a hero.
Oh, that's always the worst, right? When you're playing and somebody
All right,
just rushes
we're in the
forward,
next
like,
round.
"Wait, come back." No, these teams are so controlled and so calm and collected while they play that they're able to do that.
Inkblot Art Academy Tower Control. Let's see if we can draw up another terrific game here. And early on this map here, 9, we've mentioned before on Tower Control, there's sort of that sweet spot. If you can get that tower past a certain checkpoint, it makes it really difficult for the other team to have a comeback. Where is that spot in this map? Where do we keep our focus on Inkblot Art Academy?
So I would say on this map, it's getting past the second checkpoint that is up on the opponent's plat, as we like to call it. At that point, it really becomes a sprint because that tower starts to move very quickly.
He got splatted.
Caught in a little bit of ink right there, but
Keep it up,
both teams are
FtWin.
geared up to push way ahead of the tower. If they get to that second checkpoint, it might be GG.
I like that opponent's plat. He needs that second syllable right there. We're cool here in Splatoon. All right, tower moving, getting set for that first checkpoint. FtWin already mowing through the first checkpoint and throwing some change as they move through the gate. They continue to advance here. You also see them pushing up here, Ashley, and that's what you need. The tower in the backside with your teammates escorting a clear path to getting some splats.
Yeah, and there's that special control that we were talking about, that coordination where they're able to use, 1, 2, 3, back to back to back, and then, you bring out the inkjet to try to keep your opponents back towards spawn. This might be a little difficult for Hanran just because they don't run with a really long distance weapon generally, and so I think this might be tough for them. That ability to hold a back line, to be able to have that range is really, I think, kind of key in tower control.
And 9, you loved what you just saw right there.
Biscuit just got 3 people in 3
Watch out, watch out.
That was unreal. Biscuit is using the longest range weapon on the map, and maybe more than anything else, the Nautilus is built to do exactly what he's doing right now, and that's take out these short-range shooters.
Those biscuits can cook quickly. We just saw
Oh, yeah.
Hanran, it's all FtWin at this point. Tower slowly resetting back to neutral, but Hanran hasn't made anything resembling a push in this one. Kyo just kind of
He's hiding.
Waiting for a chance to duck through. Goes ahead and throws that fizzy bomb. Able to connect right there. And Kyo just trying to silently wait and find.
Oh, he got splat.
Nice little trade. That gives the advantage on the map for FtWin. And actually, again, this is a situation for FtWin. You've got the lead. Yes, you can play aggressive if you want to, but it's so much more effective when you're defensive and the other team has to come to you.
It really is, but I have to say, I am super impressed with Jared right now. He is doing a great job. He did it in the last game. He's doing it in this game. Doing a great job of winning these 2v1s, even during an ink armor, which is really, really impressive.
But 9,
Oh, no.
Hanran, you just don't have the range, and this is a map where that range can really be useful because you've got so much undulation at different levels in Inkblot Art Academy, and it's been all FtWin. However, Hanran trying to get to this first checkpoint. We've seen comebacks before. If you're Hanran in this position, 9, what do you have to make sure you do with just 2 minutes left?
Well, I think they did exactly what they needed to. They took down one person, Bran moved forward, and Bran is still up. So now they've got them in what we call a staggered spawn. There are going to be two people coming out at separate times. If they can get through this checkpoint, they have the tools and the players up to take this push the distance.
And Hanran trying to get through the second checkpoint, as you mentioned. If they do, it'll start to get interesting. Now we're just a few spots away from tying things up. Inkjet coming out to help out. Can Jared provide enough cover? No, just down 3, and yet again, right on the verge of coming back. FtWin, though, able to play defense in the margin of error. So thin here, and that Nautilus and Biscuit putting in more work, Ashley.
Ooh, I mean, wow. Everybody loves a biscuit, you guys, right? Like, that was amazing. That was just really coordinated, really good. Everybody, both teams, converging on the tower, and FtWin just, you know, that range really, really matters in tower control.
Yeah, FtWin putting a label on the tower and sending it back to sender at this point, and now they are in full control of this game so far. Hanran really going to have to be perfect here tonight for the most
that
part.
was sick.
Hard to do when you're down 4-2 on the map.
4-2, make that 4-1, and how's about a full wipe here? They could knock this out if they wanted to. Kyo is up here. This is a victory lap for them at this point.
Hanran is getting,
he's going to try to make one
is getting splat.
in the tower, but how's about it? Look at this. FtWin showing why they are the defending champs.
Alright, looks like FtWin is going to go to the grand finals. Dang, they got a KO.
Just 3 spots away from tying things up, but FtWin completely flips things around. And when they put their foot on the pedal, you see how destructive they can be, mowing down Hanran and closing things out. How about that Biscuit with 19 on splats and assists?
Like I said, I mean, it's just so good. Like, it's so good. I love a good ranged. I love a backliner. I mean, it's like they are the unsung heroes of Splatoon teams, I think, sometimes. And so to really see him get to have that many splats, be that aggressive with the Nautilus, I mean, it's just really, it's fun.
And it comes back to 9. You just got to win your 1v1s, but it was really Biscuit getting those 3 splats, getting those 2v1s. And you mentioned when star players can do that, the newest member of FtWin, Biscuit, by the way, that's huge, because that's when we see the huge change in momentum in a match, is when you get those multiple splats.
Really is. It starts the snowball, and that is, again, what his weapon is made to do. The Nautilus does have the longest range, and it can hold its charge, meaning that it can keep up with some of those shorter range weapons as well. If Biscuit isn't going ham in the way that he is right now, we might be seeing a completely different set.
See, now you talk about ham, biscuits, getting me all hungry right here as we continue to go through. We're not even in the grand finals yet. You got my tummy rumbling here.
All right, round 3.
Man, that said tummy. Let's go ahead and get to Starfish main stage. Splat zones here. We saw it not too long ago with 3.5 doves and Booyah. But Ashley, controlling that stage, and then we seem to see that forward push, but then handling the onslaught.
Come on, FtWin.
Will eventually come to splat zones.
Yeah, I mean, you can see we're already seeing specials built up. It has literally been less than 15 seconds. I mean, it's incredible how
Get him.
These teams can build special, and oh wow, he leapt right back. He was like, no, never mind. Hanran getting back to spawn because they were down 3-1.
And we saw that early on, just the 4-1 demolition right here by FtWin. They quickly regained the lead at this point. And we talk about pushing forward aggressively. Textbook example right here.
It is, and I do not know how much.
Oh, it got splat.
That long, but, you know,
Got splat by Jared.
Right there. I think FtWin is one of the best teams at understanding when an inch becomes a mile. Some teams might look at a small opening and say, that's just a little bit. They see not only that move, but the next 3, and that's why they are so strong.
But don't sleep on Hanran. Yes, as you mentioned, actually thinking ahead for your opponent, and right now Hanran has a chance to go ahead and take a couple of pawns as they threaten the queen, and they've got that timer ticking down, really threaten to gobble up the lead. But here comes that specials. You've got to make sure you hold fort here, Ashley.
Yeah, and with tens of missiles, you just want to get off the control point. You have to get off this flat zone, because otherwise you're just giving your opponent free ink for the space.
Oh, they got splat.
Such a good point. You've got to swim away and free up
So
that real
cool.
estate so you don't give it up. But now a little bit more back and
Dang.
forth.
They're having more ink than
Credit to Hanran.
FtWin.
Continue to apply the pressure to FtWin.
They are, and again, with a team as talented as Hanran, with such great mechanical skill.
Come on, FtWin, don't let them win this.
Has been in the past. FtWin has found just enough resources at the last moment. With just a few seconds left, the lead is going to go to Hanran.
We've taken the lead.
A lot of tenta missiles. Woo.
And Hanran seizing control of the lead, and now it's FtWin searching for some solution. We see Q.
Come on.
Hiding up top right now, drums down with that slosher, trying to cover up some territory. And now the Splat Zone up for grabs at this point. FtWin trying to claim it. They're up 4-3 on the map at this point. Q.
Oh.
Somehow able to just long enough for FtWin.
Yeah.
And Ashley, here's FtWin's chance for a 3-2 on the map.
This is their shot. If they can hold this point, if they can really use their specials wisely, I think this might be very bad for Hanran.
Dang.
Now, Nine, can you push forward too far, though? Can you be a little too aggressive to where that staggered spawn is no longer an issue for Hanran and you can mow them down?
I think there absolutely is, and it's one of those heat-of-the-moment situations where maybe it doesn't work, but if it does
Oh,
work,
yay.
you can get the lead.
They
We've
took the
seen that
lead.
right here. All that fighting was
Watch out, watch out, watch out.
from the zone, and that's huge.
And now FtWin has got the lead, 10 seconds away from the knockout. Of
10 seconds.
Grand finals. Can Hanran get one more last surge? They won't, and FtWin.
Nope, they won't.
FtWin style gets the
Looks like FtWin's going to the finals.
3.5 dubs in grand finals after making quick work with the comeback.
Oh, KO'd again.
Ashley, Nine alluded to it. If you give FtWin an inch, they'll go a mile. And you cannot have any weaknesses or any points in a match where you slip up because FtWin will expose you.
Yeah, they are very good at seeing a weakness and then exploiting it for everything they can possibly get out of it. So this is why they are one of the best teams, if not consistently the best team in North America. I mean, they're just amazing at this, and we saw that there, right? So they took it back, and they really made an effort to just, at that point, again, it's defense. You just keep them away from that Splat Zone. That's all you have to do is just hold. And so you don't have to bring the fight. You say, okay, you come to me, and they have the high ground, and they really took advantage.
All right, let's get set for grand finals here. Let's take a look at
All right, grand finals. All right, I'm going to stop the camera, and then we'll see you in the grand finals.
And I know this